male dominance rather.
Yeah.
Earlier, if we see the mythological, it is again women dominating there. Just like now, currently, wherever you see it is the women,
Yeah.
at least 50% they are sharing.
So, like they say, right? Even like the Gayatri, for example, women used to do, and what I also heard is like Sita even did the final rites for her father.
Oh,
For Janak, Sita did it. It isn't that
okay.
only the son is supposed to do.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
But
I
like
think it,
somewhere in the middle, it became male oriented.
yes.
That
So it
only
is 11.
Purohits should be men and all those categorizations started.
Yeah. So we are expecting students, or is it going to be for faculty?
It's a mixture. All actually, we meant it to be only faculty.
Okay.
Then later, some students, especially final year, wanted to join. So
Okay.
it's a
Madam,
heterogeneous
the
batch.
reason why I'm asking is like I just want to frame the content accordingly because I kind of put it together keeping students in mind. Um,
Mm-hmm. No
so
issues, no issues. Even
Most
Shalini
of
is
our
also a
teachers are
student
very
as
big, madam.
such, but a
So
PhD
we can treat them
student.
as students also. They are
That's
very,
what.
very young teachers.
oh, young teachers, huh? The teachers are
So,
Yeah,
very young.
see,
Okay.
you
very
can see
experienced
Shalini
teachers.
and Srividya. No, don't look at me. Srividya and Shalini, they are no way
Yeah.
different from our final year students.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ma-
More than 50% of the staff are very young and highly experienced teachers like Dr. Lata, all heads of the departments.
Our principal is also very young at heart, you know.
Hmm.
Correct.
Srividya. Hmm.
So AMC has multiple colleges, multiple institutions.
Yeah, it has so many institutions like degree colleges, hotel management. Once you come
Okay.
over to our campus, visit our campus, it's very nice. Sir is going to brief, and you are going to see the video also. It's a very nice infrastructure, very rarely seen in Bangalore at least. Such spacious, huge campus it is.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to. I'm currently in Coimbatore.
Mhm.
I lost my dad couple of months back.
Oh,
So I
so
came
sorry, so
to
sorry.
kind of see my mom, and anyway, it's a lockdown, so I continue to stay with her because work is anyway happening remote. My son's school is remote. Yeah. So I leave it to you. Whenever you want to start, I'll stay
Shall
on
we
mute.
start Srividya? Wait for some more time.
I think we'll start playing the video, ma'am. I'll give a call to sir.
Okay.
Good morning to the women power present here and our principal, Dr. A.G. Nataraj, sir. On behalf of the Women Empowerment Cell of AMC Engineering College and AMC Engineering College, I welcome all of you to the webinar on work-life balance. We have with us a speaker, Mrs. Vindhya, who's a software engineer at Dell, and she's also a youth faculty at Art of Living Bangalore. Welcome you, ma'am. I now request our principal, sir, Dr. A.G. Nataraj, to brief us about the college. Thank you.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good morning to one and all who are present here for this webinar, online webinar conducted from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Women Empowerment Cell of AMCEC. I'll just take 2 to 3 minutes to talk about our institution. Most of the participants know about this, our institution. Our institution was started in the year 1999. We have completed 21 years of our progress and we are getting into 22nd year of our progress under Vishveshwaraya Technological University. Our institution was started by Dr. K.R. Paramahamsa, a true educationist under Paramahamsa Foundation Trust, and is our chairman. And Srimati Geeta Paramahamsa is our vice chairman. Miss Monica Kalluri, vice president, and Mr. Rahul Kalluri, executive vice president. All the trustee members of institutions are highly educated. Our institution, we offer 7 undergraduate courses, namely computer science and engineering, information sciences and engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical and electronics engineering, information sciences and engineering, and mechatronics engineering. From this current year, that is 2020-2021, we are starting 2 more branches, the most wanted branches. That's artificial intelligence and machine learning, and another one, aeronautical engineering, which are most sought by the student and the society. We also have 8 PG courses along with MBA and MCA. We have around 10 research centers, our institutions. The main backbone of our institutions are our teachers. Our research center, through our research center, we have published nearly 1,000 publications in the peer-reviewed journals in national and international repute for the past 3 years. So we have a very good infrastructure. The total built-up area is about 10 lakh square feet. We have modern laboratories and all equipment necessary for the current study of our students. Our institution, we have also getting ranks every year. We have more than 52 ranks to our kitty under Vishveshwaraya Technological University. I congratulate Dr. Lata and her team for organizing this webinar during this period. I think this is the 23rd webinar in series that's being conducted by AMC Engineering College. I think that is sufficient. I also thank Srimati Vindhya for accepting our invitation to be the guest speaker. And she's going to talk a lot of things on balancing the work and the life. She is also working in Art of Living, so it will be a very good webinar, I think. I thank her for being accepted our invitation, and I also thank Dr. Lata and her team, Sri Vidya and others who have organized this. Thank you. Hope each and everyone will enjoy this webinar. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, good morning, ladies.
1 second.
1 minute, 2 minutes. I will request Dr. Lata CA, Head Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to kindly share a few words about the department.
Yeah, thank you, Principal Sir, and thank you, Sri Vidya. Good morning here, everybody. I welcome you all for the much needed webinar in balancing work life. As been told, I am Dr. Lata, heading Computer Science and Engineering Department in AMC Engineering College, and also taking care of Women Empowerment Cell in AMC Engineering College. In AMC Engineering College, all departments have a tradition of conducting workshops, seminars, faculty development programs to keep abreast of industry standards and state-of-the-art technologies. And that we did continue in COVID vacation through online. And we have conducted technical events, webinars, FTPs, all such things. Now, from the Women Empowerment Cell, we thought of conducting an event which is non-technical. It helps us to be more productive and improve our personality, especially for women, it's the backbone of any institution. Women fraternity is the backbone of any institution for that matter. It's a requirement because according to American Psychiatrist Association, APA, stress is on the rise for women, especially for women. It is said that the statistics says that women are 10% more likely than men to report having a great deal of stress. And 50% more women said their stress has increased over the past 5 years compared to men. And women are more likely to cite that work is the source of stress. Point to be noted here, the major portion of stress is the work. And with 65% married women report higher risks of stress than single women. 33% of single women says that we are in stress. And psychiatrists are also warning that there would be a tsunami of mental illness from problems stored up, piled up during this lockdown period. Unfortunately, Ms. Vindhya, who is also a technical person, but she's not going to talk anything about technical today, but help us to balance our work and life. I welcome her and all the participants for the session. Hope another 60 to 90 minutes will help us, all of us, to have a less pressurized but more pleasured work life. Again, I welcome you all for the webinar. Thank you all for joining it. And I request now Professor Shalini to introduce our resource person, Mrs. Vindhya. Over to Shalini.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Vindhya madam is a senior manager, channel marketing at Dell Technologies, Bangalore. She is faculty at Art of Living. Vindhya madam is a working mother with and drive marketing in a leading technology brand for the Asia Pacific and Japan region. She comes with an extensive experience of 17 years of driving marketing across India and the Asia Pacific markets. She is extremely passionate about business, technology, travel, and wildlife space. She cherishes her motherhood and is also proud to be an Art of Living faculty teaching people to beat the stress through the power of breath and meditation. Now I request Vindhya madam to empower us. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, everyone. So good morning, ladies and Principal Sir, Mr. Dr. A.G. Nataraj. So I think it's a good idea to keep this interactive rather than me speaking one way, right? Is that all right to keep it interactive?
Fine, ma'am.
Right? So I don't know, how do we communicate? Will you guys be showing a thumbs up, or you're going to answer in a chat window, or how do we have that interactivity?
I think chat box is better.
Chat box, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
first thing that I wanted to understand is, I understand this is a mix of students and faculties, right? So
Yeah.
what percentage of the mix is students here? Just to get a rough sense.
60% faculty, 40% students.
Okay, 60% is faculty and 40% is students. Okay, fine. Okay, so a little bit of introduction about myself. Like Shalini said, I look after channel marketing in the Asia Pacific role in Dell. I'm also a working mother, and especially talking about stress and work-life balance, I think all of us have a personal story and experience around it, and I have my own too, right? Since we are talking about work-life balance, and since we are talking to the computer science department, I thought I'll give some context, right, around the world in which we are living and how the world in which we are living is expected to change tremendously. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll also share some slides. Today, we are living in unprecedented times, if you see. It is said that we are living in the fourth industrial revolution. Have you heard about this term, fourth industrial revolution? Right? We are literally living in this fourth industrial revolution, right? Now, why are people saying this is the fourth industrial revolution? Because technology is changing at an unprecedented pace. Okay, every 5 years technology is becoming 10 times better. So 15 years down the line, technology is going to be 1,000 times better. And people are also saying that we may be having robots in workspace Our competitors may not be just our peers and colleagues. For all you know, we may have robos as our colleagues, right? The reason why I'm bringing this up is the workplace is becoming so competitive. And I think Dr. Lata was sharing some statistics around stress. So if you're very career oriented and if you're competitive, bear in mind that you will be competing with machines as years pass by. And the second thing is the way we are going to work is going to change tremendously, right? Because there is AR, VR. I'm sure, I don't know already if you're using these things in your institution, right? Augmented reality and virtual reality is literally going to change the way we are going to learn, the way we get trained, right? So, in the context of this fourth industrial revolution, already technology was changing at an unprecedented pace. Now, what has happened with COVID is there was a recent global research that was done. It said that on an average, 20% of people were working remote. Their roles was okay for them to work remote. So 20% of the workforce was working remote. Now, what happened in 2020 is an unprecedented situation because of COVID. We went into lockdown, and today, close to 70 to 80% of the workforce in tech companies, I think it's even more, maybe it is 95% plus of employees are working remote today. Now, what they're saying is even post COVID, this trend is expected to stay. 30 to 40% of employees will continue to work from home. This is going to be a new normal, right? So, what does this mean for us, especially women, right? Working from home certainly has its advantages, right? You don't have to drive, there is no traffic, you don't have to get ready and rush out, you get more time. But at the same time, it is equally challenging for women. You may be focusing on a call, but you will have your kid calling out for something else. You have to look into the emotional demands of people around you, right? So work from home has its advantages and disadvantages, but like when Dr. Lata was talking about how for women it is more stressful, certainly this is adding a lot of stress to women, right? Because you're having to multitask constantly. Many times when you're working from home, people don't realize that, right? Your child still wants your attention. And you do have to give those few minutes every time your child comes. You may be in an important call, but still, there's somebody who's seeking your attention, right? Certainly it kind of adds to the stress, this whole work from home trend. What I will do is I'll also share my screen. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen now.
Yeah, we
Right.
can.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying, right? We are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution where technology is, becoming so powerful, and this connectivity, right? If you look at it, the number of devices that we are connected to parallelly at any given point of time, this is also going to increase. By 2031, 200 billion devices, right? That is the expectation. Now with COVID, so many things have changed drastically. This number might even go up, right? And you would have heard about IoT, right? With that, the cost of making anything intelligent is becoming near zero, right? So what does this mean for us, right? So I have a question here, especially for the students, right? How many of you are really looking at a competitive career? You really want to make your mark? Is there any show of hands or through the chat window? Is there any way you can respond? I don't know how you see this. I'm not sure if there is a way to get any responses, but what I was curious to know is among students, are you really keen to have a career in the you're a computer science engineers, I presume. So in the tech world, are you really keen to have your career, or it's okay, like you're just studying but not necessarily very serious about your career? Is there a show of hands or any way I can get a response?
I think you all can use the chat box. participants, both the faculty and the students.
Okay. So while you respond to that, the point that I wanted to make is, are you able to see my slides?
Yes, yes, madam.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it coming full
Ma'am.
or it's coming full?
Full, full. I think
Okay.
it's better you make it a slideshow.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Okay. So the point that I really wanted to make is we are living and will be living in a hyper-connected, always on competitive world. Gone are the days of 9 to 5 jobs, right? You will be expected to stay connected, right? So I really wonder if work-life balance is a, is even the right word to use, right? Because if you see today, we're all moving towards work-life integration, right? Because the space in which we are working today has changed dramatically compared to what it was even 5 years back, right? Now, so, what is your idea of a life that is well lived? Yes, this is the landscape in which we have to operate. World is competitive, technology is growing at an unprecedented pace, but we are the choices that we make, right? So, it is up to us to decide what is the idea of a life that is well lived. Is it only chasing career and money, or is it having a balance of career, family, and our own spiritual growth, right? Because there is no right or wrong here, right? It is all about the choices that one makes. I have seen a colleague of mine who's left her 3-year-old son behind in Bangalore. She moved to the US, lived there for 6 months, and after a year or so, her family relocated to live with her. That's a tough choice to leave a 3-year-old child and go to the US. But that's a choice that she made because, she felt her career is important. I've also seen colleagues of mine who've decided to just take a break for 2, 3 years because children are small. We live in nuclear families. It's very difficult to manage. I'm going to take a break for 2, 3 years and then I will come back. That is also fine, right? It is really up to us to decide what is the idea of a good life, a successful life, right? We are all going to kick the bucket one day, right? So if you read the 7 habits of highly effective people, there is this very famous chapter which says there, right? Begin with the end in mind. So when you leave the world, when you look back at your life, what is that? How do you want to look at your life, right? Personally, for me, it is a balance of these three things. These are the three priorities as far as I am concerned, right? For me, a successful career and financial freedom is important. At the same time, spending time with family is very important, and my own spiritual growth is important, right? So it is up to each of us to decide what is important for us. What does a successful life mean for each one of us, right? And the second thing that I want to talk about is we are nothing but our choices, right? In every phase of life, it is up to us to choose what we want. Like if I were to share some examples from my own life, I've personally made these choices where I've compromised on my career because I wanted to prioritize my family. I had an exceptional situation. My parents decided to get me married when I was 18 years old, right? For various reasons. It was my choice that I decided to study even after getting married. I decided to go to college, study. I did my post graduation. So that was my choice. There are women who would decide it is okay to settle down at home. There is no right or wrong. It is really about the choices that we make. Again, in my career, I've always made choices, especially when my child was young. I have said no to even promotion opportunities and jobs. While it gave me a financial and career growth, those jobs expected me to travel, um, expected me to be away from home for a long period of time. But it was my personal choice. I said no to those opportunities because as women, we go through these phases in life. There is a phase, especially when you're a young mother, your children are small, and that's a highly demanding phase. I think Dr. Lata when she was talking about those statistics, I could relate to it so much because my life before 2011, when my son was small, was extremely stressful. I can tell you that. right? Because my job was very high pressure. I had to put in late hours, and I did not have a support system in Bangalore, right? Because my parents lived in a different city. I did not have my in-laws. So it was just crazy. And as a working mother, when you come back home, your child is also demanding your attention, right? So I hardly had time to sleep. My weekends were working. Plus, there is also a lot of emotional stress that I had to deal with for various personal reasons, right? So what happened to me is I really started falling sick. I started falling so sick that I started developing chronic fatigue and I started getting hospitalized, right? So that was my journey, right? Then I started to learn to meditate. I learned breathing exercises, and it's a choice that I made, right? I may be busy for the next 13 hours, 14 hours, but as soon as I wake up, the first 45 minutes of my day is prioritized for my yoga, meditation, and breathing exercises, come what may. It's a practice that I started in 2011. I don't have any fatigue anymore, right? In fact, I was telling Shalini yesterday that my schedule has been quite crazy whole of last week, and even today is a working day for me. I was asking her, is there a possibility to move this session to some other date, right? But I don't have fatigue. My energy levels are fine. That is because of the choice that I made, right? Come what may, I will give this personal time, because at the end of the day we have to be strong. Our energy has to be high as women, right? If our energy is low, it impacts everybody at home, especially children, right? So it's so important that we make that choice to take care of ourselves and do what is important for us, right? And like I said, right, for a woman especially, there are different phases that we go through in our career. Especially there's a certain phase when you have kids, it's up to you to make those choices, whether you want that high pressure job, are you willing to travel, and whatever is the choice that you made, I think we have to live with it. There is no point complaining after taking up a job. I'll give you an example. This was again, 2010 or something like that. I would have a lot of these male colleagues in my team who would come and, who would just talk about how they will go back home, wind up, have coffee, watch TV. They had nothing else to do, right? And for me, after I go home, I had to make dinner, I had to take care of my son. Then again, it's going to be a long sleepless night, right? So I was so angry at that point. And I told my boss, you guys have it all. You have nothing else to do. You just have to go home, watch TV. And whereas, for me, the second shift starts, right? At that point of time, my boss told me something which was like on my face. He said, that was your choice. You chose your life to be that way, right? So why are you getting angry at us? So that's when I realized it is really up to us. If we choose that we need a career, let us understand the big picture on what we have to give, right? Um, for a high profile career, right? And let's be fine with it, right? So we are our choices. It is up to us to make those well thought through decisions. And also, time is very limited, right? All of us have only 24 hours in a day. Therefore, it's important for us to prioritize on what we will do and what we will not do, right? It is not possible to make everyone around us happy. It is important for us to prioritize what is important in our lives. If I have to give my personal example, I don't socialize too much. I don't party too much because I really don't have the time. My top three priorities in life are different, right? It is really about the career growth, family time, and my own spiritual progress. So it is up to each one of us to prioritize our day, because everybody has 24 hours only. Because if we try to overstretch ourselves, then we are going to get stressed. There is only limited capacity that all of us have, and we as women, we anyway have this natural capacity to multitask, I think. But beyond a point, stretching yourself too thin, trying to be a superwoman is really not worth it. And I think it's important we ask for help where we need, instead of taking everything on our head and stretching ourselves too thin, right? And the next point that I want to make is really, um, is work life balance even a valid thing in today's um, the way things have changed today. Is work life balance as a term even relevant? That's the question I've been asking myself, right? So the answer, um, what I get from within is, I've moved towards work life integration rather than work life balance, right? Because it's not possible for me to compartmentalize 9 to 5 I will work, 5 to 8, or 5 to 9 it is my family time, and whatever 10 o'clock I'm going to sleep, 5 a.m. I'm going to get up. It doesn't work like that for me anymore, right? In my personal view, it is more of work life integration, right? I wake up in the morning, yes, work is still running in the head. I may have to see my mails and mentally prepare for the day as I attend to my family, right? And as I'm working, I do take in breaks in between to check on my family, to check on my child, what's happening at a family level, right? And again, evening as much as possible, I try and spend that time with my son to check on what is happening, because I believe it is very important as mothers. We talk to our kids, give them that time. And I'm not a fan of pushing the children away, right? We may be on a call, but in their life, the parent, the mother is the most important person. They may want to share something, and I feel it's very unfair to push the kid away because we are in an important discussion, right? So I've come to believe that work life integration is what makes sense in today's day and age, given the fact that we've opted for a um, high pressure job and a career, right? So it is up to us on how we are integrating it. Again, I do check my mails in the night, I do attend to work. Sometimes even over the weekends one has to work. Now all this begins with choosing the right job. If you're really passionate about your job, if you love what you're doing, then I don't think you will see work as a pain, because you're truly passionate about what you're doing, right? So it is also very important as students, you're going to kickstart your careers, choose a job that you'll really enjoy, rather than just opting for something that somebody else wanted you to do, right? Because people around us can always have an opinion, but it is very difficult to live a life that will please others versus us. So I would also suggest that you introspect, you take that time and see what is the job that you will really enjoy doing, right? Now I got into marketing, I did not get into a tech job because I felt tech is not my cup of tea. I could not do this coding and all that stuff. I really felt that's not my cup of tea, right? But that's a personal choice that I made. I had a whole lot of people in my family saying, what are you getting into? But this is what I enjoy the most. Therefore it doesn't appear to be like pressure to me, because this is something I really enjoy doing, right? And the last point that I wanted to make is, all of us have limited time. It is only 24 hours a day. Whether you're the prime minister of the country or a watchman or a housewife, everybody has only 24 hours a day. There is no way we can increase this. But what we can increase is our energy levels, right? I have a question to ask you. I don't know whether interactivity is possible now. I'll stop my share because I haven't been able to see any answers. I did see one answer for my parents, and I want an independent life. This can happen only by having a good career. Okay, there is one person who has responded, right? So, what I wanted to tell you is, time is limited, right? We cannot increase that. But what we can certainly increase is our energy levels. Now, how do you increase your energy, right? Now, we've all had good days and bad days in our lives, right? Folks, I really want some
Yeah,
interactivity.
yeah.
Otherwise, I feel I'm talking to a screen. So it'll be good if you can kind of unmute or respond, right? See, on some of the typical days, our energy levels are low, right? We've had days where our energy is low. When our energy is low, we typically don't feel like doing anything. We are like not in a good mood. We are depressed. We are irritated, right? And also at a body level, we have some aches and pains. We don't feel very good on the days when our energy levels are low, right? Whereas there are some days where our energy is high. When your energy is high, you're raring to go, you don't mind taking up challenges, right? And every challenge becomes an opportunity for you. You're in a space of contribution and you're a lot more happy and confident when your energy is high, right? So the quality of your life really depends on your energy levels. So, how do we address this? How do we increase our energy levels? There are many different ways you can do that. But the most important thing that I would like to talk about is attend to your breath. Your own breath is so powerful. You don't have to look for strength and support anywhere else, right? Tap into the power of your own breath. Your breath is so powerful, right? You observe your own breath, right? When you're in a bad mood, right? Or when you're depressed, right? You observe how is your breathing pattern. You'll often see that it is shallow. You're not taking enough prana into your system. Whereas when you're happy, when you're in a confident space, you see what's the kind of quality of breath you're taking in. You'll be taking a lot more breath. Your inhalation will be so deep. Your prana level will be so high, right? So in India, in this country, if you see, I think women have always been empowered. That's the discussion we were having with Dr. Lata before the session started, right? In this country, if you see from um, the olden days, right, women have always been empowered. Even if you go to rural areas, women work, they contribute, they bring money on the table, right? So the point that I wanted to make is attend to your breath. It is a big source of energy. That's exactly the reason why India has been this land of yoga and pranayama, right? Nowhere in the world all this was taught, right? Thousands of years back, because they knew it was very scientific. It was very scientific. Your breath is so powerful. That is the reason why pranayama came in India. Now, what is pranayama? Prana means life force. It is not just the oxygen, it is something more than oxygen. It is that um, life force within you, right? And what is ayama? Ayama is directing your prana into certain parts of your body. Okay. So when you breathe in a certain way, in a certain rhythm, when you direct this prana to certain parts of your body, you will see that your entire system gets energized, right? And when your system gets energized, your toxins in the body, right, will be out. Now, let's also understand what stress does to um, us, right? Now, as women, if you see, we are also very emotional. Compared to a man, women are more emotional. That is also a strength for us. They also say that it is a great, women are better leaders because we are more empathetic. We are able to understand the emotions of the other person, right? Many times in the family, our mothers intuitively they will know, right? Hey, something is not okay with you. What happened? I don't know how much dads can sense that, but moms can always sense that. You don't have to say it; they get it, right? Because we are emotional, we are more intuitive, right? And also, it is physically stressful to be a woman, right? You have your menstrual cycles, you go through pregnancy, post pregnancy, you put on weight, and that becomes another problem to deal with. You have your menopause. It is also physically more demanding to be a woman. That is one of the reasons why levels for a woman is higher than that of a man, right? So now all this is problem statements, right? So what do we do is, first thing is tap into the power of breath, and also please learn to meditate. Okay, because pranayama and meditation will give you time. This has been my personal story. Like I said, in 2011, I used to be so stressed, right? I did not have the energy to do anything. Then I learned this Sudarshan Kriya, which is taught by Art of Living. And trust me, I was a non believer. Those days, I was a non believer. People came and told me, do yoga, pranayama. I would just laugh it off, right? But I was so tired of this hospitalization and I had become so weak that when I learned the Sudarshan Kriya and I started practicing, I started feeling so energetic. And over the last 9 years, I have never stopped the practice. I've been so regular with my practice because life has changed. So many aspects of my life changed. I started becoming more efficient in overall whatever I did. Earlier, if I took, see, it's all got to do with your mind, right? If your mind is really focused, in 30 minutes, you will be able to accomplish something. If it is like laser sharp and if you're able to put your attention, especially as students, right? Whereas if our mind is haywire, it is going all over the place, something that you take to complete in 30 minutes, maybe 90 minutes, 120 minutes, it is still not complete. That is where breathing and meditation makes a big difference to your productivity levels and your efficiency levels, right? So this has really been my story. And, my life changed profoundly, personally and emotionally. I became so strong. I became more independent emotionally. I was not looking for any external validation. I was not looking for any external appreciation or validation. I started realizing practically that, peace of mind, happiness, everything comes from within and not from external sources. Then what happens is you stop looking for attention or love or anything external, right? Because you start becoming so content, and there's a lot of inner fulfillment that starts happening to you, and that gives you a lot of strength. And another personal example I would like to quote is, I lost my dad 60 days back, right? Me as a single child, I've always been very, very attached to my father, right? Maybe if this had happened few years back before my practice of pranayama and meditation, I think I would have crumbled into pieces because I've been so attached to him, right? But this 9 years of practice has made me so calm, serene, and strong from within. I was able to accept the situation in a much better manner, right? He was ailing, he had health issues. There's been a lot more acceptance with the situation, and I kind of got back to my work. I also started teaching my Art of Living courses after 13 days because um, that's the kind of strength that this has given me. And if you have time and if that's okay, we can go through a meditation session. But I would ask Dr. Lata on what she thinks.
Pardon me once again.
No, I wanted to ask you if we have time, maybe we can go through some breathing exercises and a round of meditation if we have the
Uh,
time.
yeah. We have 12. We have the schedule, so no issues. You can go ahead.
Okay, we have 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how we can do this breathing exercise together because I'm not able to see anybody. So it may not be a good idea actually to see because, okay, somebody says yes. Okay. So
If
I
you
will not,
want to, if we want someone to join, I think Shalini, Srividya themselves can join. I mean,
no,
with the video.
yeah, okay, no problem. See, what I would suggest is we can all do a breathing exercise. I'm going to do something very simple
Okay.
which we can do together. Okay. I would love to see you on video because I want to make sure that you're doing it right. Um, okay, let's do something simple since there is no video option. What you do is you take your left
I think
hand.
Shalini and Srividya, can you enable your video?
Actually, you know what? It's okay, no problem.
Mhm.
Let's leave it because it's I also important I see the rest of the people, right? I don't know how they will be doing. I'll be demonstrating something here. I don't know how they will be doing. So it's always very important um, that we are able to see what is being taught. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to take. This has really been my perspective and journey around work-life balance, which has now become work-life integration for me, right? Do you have any questions? Are there some comments on chat? Okay. Many of you have said yes. I don't know if that was for if that was for the breathing exercise and
Yeah,
meditation.
that was for the breathing exercises.
See, my only concern is I won't be able to see you. So I want to make sure I'm teaching it right. So it is difficult in a non-video version. Okay. But maybe, I know we can do a session if you're really interested. If you can keep your video on, uh, we can do it. Or I keep doing a lot of free introductory workshops. I can share the details with Shalini, and maybe she can share it with you all. You all are welcome to attend. Usually we do it over the weekends. And I think even tomorrow evening, 6 p.m., I'm conducting a free introductory session, right? Where we teach people, right? Some breathing exercises, some meditation, so that people understand how it works on their system. Otherwise, by now, Otherwise, by now, everybody knows meditation is important. Yoga is important. We have the International Yoga Day now. There is so much awareness on yoga, breathing, and meditation. It is, for all you know, some of you may be already practicing. I don't know. But for those who haven't practiced, I would suggest, prioritize, sign up for a course, and transform your life. That's what I would say. Do you have any questions, any inputs? I don't know if
Yeah,
what I
I
spoke
have a
addressed.
question,
Yeah,
Vindhya ma'am.
yeah.
Which part of the day is very suitable for the meditation? And what is the prerequisites? Like it should be empty stomach or anything like that?
Yes, yes. It should be empty stomach, or preferably at least 3 hours after food, right? So before lunch, before breakfast, it's always before food. Post lunch sessions are not recommended because your stomach is already full, right? So yeah,
That's the only prerequisite, right?
that's the only prerequisite.
Otherwise,
Yes.
any part of the day, any hour of the day is okay.
Yes, any hour of the day. Around even 4 o'clock in the evening is okay, because you would have had your lunch at 1, and you would have had given three
If
hours
we are
for
in
the
a
food to
habit of having
digest.
our dinner very early, that's maybe 6 or 7 o'clock.
After meditation, you can go have dinner. That's not a problem. See, the
No, no, no.
rule is you don't meditate or do your pranayama on a full stomach. Yeah.
Okay. And what should be the duration? I think someone has asked also in the chat box.
Have
Um,
they asked?
how long will you spend for meditation?
See,
Satya Manikam.
I would suggest we need at least 45 minutes to do some breathing exercises, and then meditation is usually around 15-20 minutes, right? And take it as, I would say, keep a 60-minute session aside for you to do a proper session, right? You do some nice stretches, we do some breathing, we do some different breathing exercises, and then do meditation.
I think in India we can start the session so that they'll get more doubts in the due course of time, and we can keep this questionnaire session at the end. You can start the breathing exercise session, I think.
Okay, so you're um but but my only concern is
You want to
I can't
see?
see anybody, right? So
Yeah, those
I
are
don't know whether they're
okay.
doing it right.
No, no, but the thing is, the number of participants are too huge that enabling all the video wouldn't be this thing. But whoever is willing can enable the video.
See, here is a
Srividya ma'am,
recommendation.
is it possible?
No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those are okay. You can enable your videos among the participants. Venkatlakshmi madam, Uma Reddy ma'am, Shalini, anybody, whoever, Arpita, Bhavani, Bindu Madhav ma'am, those are okay, can enable your video, make it fast. No, they are not prepared for their video to be
I
enabled.
know, I understand. See, even I am not very comfortable opening up my video in all meetings, right?
No, especially today, we didn't ask them.
Correct, correct.
to be
I
ready.
know. I
Mm.
absolutely understand, especially when it comes to women. So, if you're really interested in attending tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, right? We have a free introductory session. I can share the details with Shalini and she can share it with you. You're more than welcome to attend. Okay. And another alternative is there are free meditation sessions, right? That Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar ji conducts at 12 noon every day and 7:30 p.m. in the evening. Okay, this is all on YouTube. All you have to do is go to Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar and subscribe. You'll get a live notification. These meditations are free and it is so beautiful, right? See, it's been my personal experience, right? The day you meditate, the day you do the kriya, right? You're so calm, you're so peaceful. You're able to accomplish a lot of things, and especially women, we get a little emotional about everything. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know whether you agree, disagree. Usually men, this is my observation, right? They are very objective in every decision making. They don't mix up emotions at all while making decisions, right? Whereas we tend to get a little emotional about people, about other people's behavior, and that tends to kind of impact us. So it's important we take care of our emotions. And also, if you see, most of the diseases today that people have, it's psychosomatic. So what does that mean? Something is not okay for us inside. Emotionally, something is not okay, and that starts manifesting in the form of diseases, right?
Software problem, basically,
Exactly, exactly. It's a software problem,
which
right?
affects our hardware.
Which affects the hardware, which is your body. There are so many
Correct.
new diseases today, isn't it? The rise in cancer, the rise in so many kind of lifestyle diseases. Our grandmothers did not have all these things, right? This polycystic ovarian disease, it's become so common amongst women. Hormonal imbalance, cycles not happening, all that stuff. I don't want to get into it. You know it, right? You've been hearing from people around you, even this ovarian cancer, what not, right? These are typical gynecological problems that women are getting today. Of course there is a huge change in our lifestyle, right? But we can't do much about it. If we want to work, if we want to have a career, this is, we can't change the world, but we can change ourselves. Definitely we can increase our energy levels, take care of our health, eat right. Now for all that, I'm telling you, strength only comes from within. And during this Women's Day, people talk about women empowerment. What can the government do, what can the corporates do? Personally, I believe that they can all do only till a certain effect level, right? The true empowerment actually has to come from within us. Nobody can help us beyond a point. Yeah, corporate policy can be there, they can give you flexible work environment, right? But when you work from home, there are 20 different things that causes more stress, right? So the true empowerment actually comes from within you, and that really comes when you start meditating, I can tell you that. So learn the meditation, learn the Sudarshan Kriya, transform your lives. And tomorrow's free session, I will kind of send the message to Shalini and she can circulate. You're free to join. I think most probably it'll happen on a Google Meet or a Zoom. So you can join in from the comfort of your homes. Do you have any questions?
If you can demonstrate it here, one or two, that would be fine, I think.
See, my only point is I cannot teach just like that,
Um,
because I don't know what is the health record of the person. I don't know how they are doing it.
mhm.
That's my only problem. So maybe, we'll
Okay.
give them a heads up. Somebody saying, I am doing pranayama and yoga. My kids are very active and demanding. I feel I'm not doing enough to them. You know, I think majority of the working women have this constant guilt, right? That I'm not spending enough time with my kids. I'm out here working, right? Even I felt this guilt, right? I had this constant guilt. What am I doing? I'm out. My son is at home, right? Am I missing out on his childhood, right? So I asked this question to my guru, which is, Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and he told me, doesn't matter. quality of the time that you give is what matters, not the quantity. So that's when I realized our children don't expect us to be with them 24 hours. Even if we are with them for 60 minutes, that 60 minutes has to be 100%. We are not seeing our mobile phone, we are not seeing social media, TV, nothing else, right? 60 minutes with the kid, 60 minutes. And also from a personal experience, I will tell you, I have taken one conscious decision from 2018. I make it a point to travel with family, right? From 2018, or rather end of 2017, I can tell you, I have been traveling with my family at least 2 to 3 trips a year, right? And trust me, that has, I feel, has brought a lot of us closer, because when you travel, you're exploring new places, uh, you're exploring new food. It really helps you in that bonding. You get that quality time, right? You're not thinking about work and other things, right? If you're taking that time off, so travel. That's another tip I would give you, right? Because life is all about memories, isn't it? Another few years, whatever, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, we're all going to kick the bucket, right? So when you look back at your life, there has to be some sense of fulfillment. Yes, I lived the life. I lived a good life, right? So that's the second slide that I showed. It's really up to you to define what is. Somebody is saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I read it out for you?
No worries. I just saw it.
Yeah.
Somebody
No,
is
no, no.
asking, is only yoga enough, or do I need to walk? See, it is important you do physical exercise every day. You have to sweat it out, right? Now, whether you choose yoga, whether you choose walking, swimming, the choice is yours, right? But what is important is you should exercise, right? And there are two parts, or rather three parts, right? One is for your physical body, you have to exercise, do the hatha yoga and all that stuff. Now, for your emotions, and yeah, especially your emotional health, you have to do the breathing exercises, you have to do the kriya and meditate. So there are two parts to it. There are many people who would tell me, I go to the gym. Yeah, gym is okay, gym is for your body, but what are you doing for your mind? See, if your mind is strong and body is weak, you can still pull through. But if your mind is weak and just the body is healthy, it doesn't help. Okay, so both are important. Can my family join the session? Yes, your family can also join. Then somebody said, in bosses are behaving dominant, sometimes they're behaving blah blah blah. Yes, absolutely understand. Absolutely understand this point.
No, no, no.
See,
Someone has to read it out so that it
Yeah.
is only for the
okay,
panelists.
okay.
No,
So,
she.
madam, in workplace, bosses are behaving dominant. Sometimes they are behaving like a master, literally slavery approach. Most of the women are affected with more stress, time, kid. What's that? Yeah, how to overcome, guide us, right? That's what you said. So, I think, see, unfortunately, there are certain things we cannot choose in our lives. We can't choose our bosses, right? I think if we had the freedom to choose our bosses, many of us could have changed our bosses, right? And you will see that in your career, you will have good bosses and you will have terrible bosses, right? But that is something we have to learn to deal with. For that, again, I would say get stronger from within so that you get the strength to deal with the situation. But if you think it is like totally out of control, or the person is abusive, etc., it's really your choice to kind of move out of that situation, right? And not to let anyone hurt you. But strength comes from within. Build on that. Someone says, while spending 60-minute quality time with kids, if in between some important call comes, how to balance that? Generally, that time kid thinks we are not giving time. See, every time we spend time with our kids, we will not get important call, right? Once, sometimes we get, and if we tell the kid, see, this is something I learned in Art of Living again, right? Because I was always on calls, always sitting with laptop, right? And this is like many years back. My son told me he used to hate my laptop and he used to hate my phone. He would say, you're always with this, right? That is when I realized, when I talk to him, shut off everything, right? And sometimes there's an important call. They understand when you tell them, just give me 2 minutes, I'll finish this call and come, right? And after you finish the call, make sure you're going back to the child and you're telling your child, you explain the situation, right? They understand. And trust me, I personally think children are a lot more matured and understanding than we think what they are. That's what I feel my son is so matured. He's able to understand the situation, and they support us. He supports me, at least. And when I'm feeling low, sometimes, he's such a big support. They also reciprocate, right? When you have supported them, they also reciprocate. And one thing, see, life is very short, right? Another 10 years, 15 years, we are going to become old, and children are going to become teenagers, or they're going to get into their early 20s or whatever. At that point of time, we may be retired, and we may have a lot of time in our lives. But bear in mind, kids may not give us the time because we are free. They get busy, right? And sometimes kids also give it back, right? Whatever experience they got from their parents during childhood is what they end up reciprocating. So it is very important that we attend to the emotional health of children, especially today's day and age. There's so much internet exposure. As parents, you may be doing your best for the kids, but what do you do in school if kids are into internet exposure? We can't control what they're seeing, right? Again, I would urge you, as parents, to get the children a little bit into spirituality, right? Get them also to do some yoga, breathing, um, chanting. These things definitely help, right? And that's what I have done. This is my personal experience. My son has been practicing his Sudarshan Kriya too from the age of 7.5, right? And I feel he's a lot more serene, calm. Yeah. Anything else?
Shalini, unmute. Shalini, unmute yourself.
There are some more questions on the
Yeah,
chat.
ma'am. Huh. One of my
Okay.
friend has asked this question. I do yoga for 60 minutes. I do relaxation, breathing exercises, leg and back stretches, Surya Namaskara, etc. But still, I feel very tired when I do lot of jobs. Should I do anything more which I can be healthy anymore? I do yoga for 60 minutes. I do relaxation.
Mind
Yes.
repetition.
That's exactly what I told now. So there are two parts to it. One is your body and other is mind. The yoga, what you do, right? The Surya Namaskar, the Hatha Yoga, running, walking, swimming, put everything in the same category. It is all for your physical body. Okay. What are you doing for your mind? You, especially if you're getting too many thoughts in your head, if it is negative thoughts, and if there are some emotions, right? Especially for women, people say, oh, as a lady you should not get angry, right? But how do I not get angry? Anger just comes, it doesn't ask permission, right? That is where the Sudarshan Kriya and the meditation makes a profound difference. See, I'll just give you an example. Fatigue comes because you're tired, right? We spoke about the different sources of energy. Let me tell you, the important sources of energy are food, right? Right type of food. It's important you take food with high prana, and sleep, and you sign up for an art of living program. They'll tell you all that there are different sources of energy, and breath is the most important source of energy. And when you say I'm doing pranayama, I don't know what pranayama you're doing. Lot of people are seeing YouTube and they practice some pranayamas. I wouldn't recommend that, because pranayamas are very, very powerful. If you do it wrong, it can have a negative impact on you, right? That is why it is important you learn from a qualified teacher who's trained by a good guru. Yeah.
Shalini, unmute yourself.
Ma'am, in which time of the day it would be better to practice yoga, ma'am?
Madam answered already.
You're talking about yoga or breathing and meditation?
Yoga.
Yoga is always, when you're on empty stomach, right? Best thing is to do it in the morning or again in the evening. Your stomach is light. See, the norm is this: your stomach has to be light. That's the right time to do. And apart from breathing exercises, I would strongly urge you to learn to meditate. See, because meditation and Kriya will give you time in the day, right? You may have only 24 hours a day, but you will become so productive. You'll be able to do so many things more. So, meditation, there is no
The
replacement for meditation.
minimum time duration we can give for the meditation. Means to say we are in the workplace, okay,
Yeah,
and there's a need of meditation. What is the minimum time we can give for a
20
meditation?
minutes, 20 minutes.
Mm.
In fact, in my own workplace, before lunch, we have a little yoga room. I go and meditate and then go have lunch. So your lunch break could be 40 minutes, 50 minutes. It's a choice you make on where you want to invest that time. So I do meditate and then have lunch.
I have a very basic.
Other way is not possible, right? Have lunch and then meditate is not possible
No,
because
you
of
won't
stomach
be.
must be.
Yes, your stomach should be light. That's the.
Okay.
Now, how do you concentrate during meditation? Because it's all about the concentration that is involved in the meditation, right? So a few minutes into meditation, so we all get carried away. We have different thoughts creeping up in our mind. So how do we exactly streamline it so that we can really focus on the meditation?
See, firstly, it's a myth that meditation is concentration. Meditation is not concentration. Concentration and focus is only a byproduct of meditation. As you start meditating, automatically your concentration and focus becomes good. But the meditation is not the process of concentration. It is actually letting go, right? And that is the reason. And one strongest recommendation I have is, see, these things are very abstract, right? Meditation is very abstract. You cannot see it, it's an experience, right? So it's very, very important you get trained by the right person, right? On YouTube and other places, you have lot of nonsense going around, right? So don't get stuck in a wrong place, right? So always learn under somebody who's safe, tested, qualified, right? So, and I've been with Art of Living for 9 years, right? And I can tell you, it is a very scientific place, right? You can agree, disagree, you can ask questions. It's nothing like drilled top down. No. In fact, if you want to go deep into yoga, right? Now, yoga is an ocean, right? Yoga is not just some stretches and Surya Namaskar. It is a deep science. We have something called the Sri Sri School of Yoga, right? Where you can become a certified yoga teacher. I think they have some 300 hours of training. You can look it up online, Sri Sri School of Yoga. But before we get there, like, I think the first thing, I think fundamentally we should learn to integrate the Sudarshan Kriya and meditation into our daily lives. Yeah.
Yeah, Sudarshan Kriya can be done daily, just like
Yes.
any other meditation.
Yes, it should be done daily. Somebody's message saying I'm doing Sudarshan Kriya and I can feel I'm under control emotionally, which was not the case earlier. Yes, 100%. See, that is how I became an Art of Living teacher, no? All Art of Living teachers, if you see, majority of them will have their day job, they'll have a daily life. They do this more like a voluntary service because their own lives have transformed so much. This I always keep telling myself. If I did not learn the Kriya, I would have maybe ended up in a hospital. My situation was that bad in 2011. I was so stressed in life, I can't tell you. And I became so short tempered. I used to shout at people. I can't, and I used to be so nervous for nothing. I used to be nervous. I don't know. I can't even relate to that person that I used to be. So much anxiety all the time. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Is there any other queries or doubts or clarification? Yes. Vidya, can you wind it up?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, 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 we can. So thank you very much. It was nice meeting
One
everybody.
second. One
Yeah.
second, Sri Vidya.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am, Vindhya ma'am. You have actually reflected many of the thoughts that boggles down women of this era. In fact, we are expected more to be a superwoman than just a working woman. So this talk of yours, will surely be helpful for all of us, and I hope all the participants surely taken all the input right, imbibe as much as possible. And as you were telling, we will all surely try to attend the session that's going to be conducted tomorrow. And Shalini ma'am will be passing on the link, as you said. So I'm just as an information to all the participants. I would also like to thank and place a record all the participants who've actually been a part of this. And I think many of them asked questions in a very lively way, and all were very as I was telling, any question that was proposed and any of the solution that you actually gave us, everybody could actually relate to this in this particular scenario, especially when you're working from home and all that. We are more so expected to juggle too many things at hand that something we just feel that we are totally out of control of everything, and this session would have balanced out all of us really. And I would like to thank our management for having given us this opportunity and permission to conduct this webinar. And also like to thank our principal, Dr. A.G. Nataraj sir, and our HOD ma'am, Dr. Lata CA, and all the other heads and faculty who have actually assembled over here. I would also like to thank our webinar coordinator, Mr. Mushtaq sir. Thank you all. Feedback link will be sent to the mails, and you please click on the feedback link. In another 24 hours, it will be reaching you. And once you do that, you'll be getting the certificate of participation. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Vidya.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Nice talking.
Shalini, for reaching out. I think Shalini is the one who got in touch. Dr. Nataraj, Dr. Lata, Sri Vidya, Shalini, and rest of the ladies. Thank you so much. It was nice interacting with
Madam,
you.
please visit our
Same
institution
here.
once so that it can be more useful for us. All of
Sure,
us.
sir.
Yes.
Sure,
Once the
sure.
things comes into normalcy, we can even have a physical
Sure.
seminar like with the students.
Surely.
Once the things come back to
Yeah.
normalcy. Thank you.
Thank
Good day.
you.
Good
Have a
day.
great day. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, madam. Thank you.